Do you know what is script of all scripts? The script that is not negotiable. So there is not negotiable script of homeostasis. Do you know what is homeostasis? Homeostasis is where you can stay alive. So this is the range, the viable range in which you can exist. This is given by our phenotype. This is given by our very particular evolutionary history. So this is script of all script. We need to maintain ourselves in existence within a certain viable range. If we leave that range, then we cease to exist. Or if you are very often on the edge of this range, then this will be so expensive that something will eventually break up, or maybe break much faster than we would expect it to. So we would be aging quicker, or we would be injured much more often, and we would basically create a very expensive kind of relation to ourselves and to life. So script of all scripts is the first and most important script. So you do everything in reference to that script. So you're basically asking yourself, how much it cost me to stay alive? Is this clear? So this is reference to you. If you're not interested in that thing, then maybe you can jump off the cliff, or you can drive your car in 200 kilometers an hour and hit the wall. That's also possible. But if you presume that you want to stay alive, then your first self, your first authenticity is in homeostasis. Antonio Damasio, a very beautiful researcher, he says this is your proto-self, your homeostasis. So this is phylogenetic history. Then you have an ontogenetic history. Ontogenesis means the way of upbringing. So there is another story that is being formed, another stories are being formed in a mother's belly. So it is already a certain environment inside of the belly of a mother. The mother behaves in a certain way, the mother is telling a certain stories in a certain way, means by what she's eating, how she's moving, to what kind of environment she's exposed. So this is your first environment inside of the belly of a mom. That already quite greatly influences the expression of your genes, okay? Then you have an entrance into the life. So you exit mom and you come into this really noisy but beautiful, hopefully beautiful environment, beautiful world. And here in this world, you start to encounter stories of the society, let's say, so 5 social forces, which is history, politics, culture, religion, technology. They start to influence your being and how you're gonna be communicating with the world. This is not necessarily stories that you've chosen, but these were stories that you are being introduced to as a small kid and growing. So they're different stories, and you kind of respond to them, you try to learn them, blah, blah, blah. Later on in your life, you can then volitionally, or you believe that you have a free will, to attend to stories that you like. I will be a dancer, I will be an actor, I will be a cosmonaut, I will be an engineer, I will be an architect. So you kind of start to have your own voice, right? But there also you will encounter certain stories that already exist, or you will be also, in some cases, able to introduce your own voice in those stories. But then comes this beautiful moment where we start to have a kind of more agency. How much in those, there is this phylogenetic history that you cannot influence much, that's your evolution, that needs to be respected. But this ontogenetic development from the mother's belly until who you are now, who you are becoming right now, how you're able to contribute creatively to those scripts that you have encountered. So now how you can understand what the stories are, who you have become, understand your past, and when you understand better your past, you make it more transparent, so you're less weighted by your own history. You can flatten out the importance of your past, so you can maybe look at the world in a novel way, right? If you do not resolve somehow the stories that you're carrying, then you're somehow like, you're always looking through the prism of those stories. But if you understand those stories, you understand how you're usually looking at the world. And then slowly you can say, okay, how I can make a novel interpretation of the stories that I know. So from the stories that I know, how I can, like when you have a script, a Shakespeare script, right? You read that script and you find something new, something that no one else found before, and you can make that interpretation so interesting that it is like seeing a new Shakespeare on the stage. Then how you can Maybe collaborate, create new scripts, that's what I said before, and then maybe create completely new scripts, create a world that never existed before. That gives you the full scale of your agency, full scale of your abilities to be in the life. And then in this process of range, you're looking for how can I still be myself, even if I play for the others, even if I play something that someone else wants me to play, or if this is my script. In all of those cases, you might not have lost your own authentic voice.